LeBron James beefing with Stephen A. Smith. Now, y'all know LeBron James don't really beef with much people, so you know something had to go down. Stephen A. said something he ain't like. I'm going to get on in now real quick. Without further ado, let's get on into it.
What do you make of LeBron?
This is what Stephen A. Smith had to say after the situation.
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit.
This sound like fighting words, man. This sound like fighting words.
In the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father. Here's what.
Now I ain't gonna lie. Okay, he's about to get into what he said there, but hey, right now that energy he giving off, hey, it didn't feel like he had that when LeBron's face to face. Is all I'm saying. Now, hey, look, this could be totally different. He probably thought LeBron was coming at him for what he said about Bronny, but now he probably feel different. I don't know, but let's let him finish. See what happened.
What happened? I'm represented by William Morris Endeavor. The founder of William Morris Endeavor, Ari Emanuel, had courtside seats right
Nick
next to
Young
the Lakers
randomly?
bench. He had Larry David with him.
Unless he been on Gilbert Arenas
Star of
podcast. I
Curb
don't know.
Your Enthusiasm.
That's probably not Nick Young.
I'm sitting with them. I get there in the first quarter. I'm sitting courtside, and I stand up, and then I got my head turned. And then I turned back around, and a lot of people thought this was the end of the game or something like that. This was in the third quarter.
I seen the timeout. It was, I think, a timeout.
Apparently, LeBron had walked out of the timeout.
Yeah, I seen it was a timeout.
And I turned around, and he's right here in my face. He said, yo, you got to stop talking shit about my son. You got to stop fucking with my son. That's my son. That's my son. And I was like, what? He said, nah, fuck that. I said, yo, let's talk later. He's like, fuck that. Nah, fuck that.
Now, look, a 6'8" grown man coming at you randomly, that could probably shook you a little bit because you wasn't expecting it. Now, what LeBron is saying, depending upon what Stephen A. Smith said, because I don't know what's the trigger word now. If it's just Stephen A. Smith doing his normal heckling talking about how trash a player is, then it is what it is. That's what you sign up for, being an NBA player. It's really nothing partake, really, that I can, like, be all like, dang, like, Stephen Smith shouldn't did that. Now, if he said something totally that had nothing to do with basketball, that's understandable. But the other thing is, Bronny does get a lot of hate from the media, or like talked about more than like the top 10 picks and in the first round, which is crazy. Bronny is like the second round pick, and he gets more attention than the whole first top 5 picks combined. You probably can't even name me 5 of the number 1 pick in that draft. Like, it's crazy how much he get talked more about they do, you know? So, you know, I feel like if LeBron's getting mad about that, it is what it is. Now, Bron is his own NBA player. I think it's going to take time for him to get good. And he also stick up for himself. But if Stephen A. Smith says something that had nothing to do with basketball, I understand that, LeBron had to say something to him then, you know? I know a lot of people think it could be private, but LeBron probably busy. So he gonna say what he gotta say through now and get on with it later, you know. But Stephen A. Smith turns, he wasn't expecting LeBron. I know he wasn't expecting LeBron. I know he got shook then and there. It's probably like confused with what happened. But hey, you know, I'm gonna see what he had to say going forward real quick. So let's continue.
You gotta stop fucking with my son. And I said, all right, though. And he walked off. So I remember during a timeout in the first quarter, seeing Bronny. And Bronny looked over at me, and he had this sad look on his face. And I'm imagining Pop saw that shit, it hit him. Yeah. And he couldn't hold it, and he rolled up on me. And so when I went on the air the next morning, first things first, believe it or not, I know this is shocking for people to believe.
Media comes with the game, you know.
But I didn't have any intentions on talking about it until I woke up that morning and saw that the shit had gone viral. Once the shit had gone viral,
you know that was going viral. You know that was going viral.
Now you got to talk about it.
You know it was going viral.
And him, you got to talk about
bro.
it. I said, fine. So I go on the air and I said, the first thing that I'm going to do is establish.
You feel like you was talking like you was shook, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
To me, not a player. And that was what threw me off. And I was glad, even though I thought that he misrepresented the argument, I was glad he did. Because you see, what he was really talking about, which was confirmed with his conversation with Richard Jefferson, is that I was talking about him as a father. And so what happens is that had he said...
Okay, again, now I do remember a little bit of that Richard Jefferson clip with LeBron James. It was said something about Stephen A. Smith said something about, as a father, I'm pleading for you to stop this or something, which I guess the LeBron just felt like, really, bro, like that's just like, come on now, like what did that got to do with anything as me being a father to Bronny about teaching him how like he made it here, so making him get like to express his chance in the NBA, like what they got to do with anything. You talk about me pleading you as a father, and LeBron's a family man, that hit him, that was gonna hit him, as any would a father, you know what I'm saying? So you see the obsession of LeBron James. It's just funny now, because I know Stephen A. Smith probably gonna say it later. He just felt so wrong because NBA players in general, because this is not the first time Stephen A. Smith has beef with NBA players, bro, but he felt like they be attacking him. So I'm gonna see what he got to say later on, or right now.
That to
real
me,
quick.
then I wouldn't have been thrown off. I'd have came right back at him. Yes, I was. I was talking about you. You did this
Because
shit,
this is crazy,
which I'll
man.
get to in a second. But because he didn't do that, I said, fine, you let it go. Mind you, I just agreed to my contract. Courtside. That day was when it was announced. It's all over, everywhere.
We talked about
I be
it,
right.
Which was a big chunk of money.
It's a nationally
crazy,
televised
man.
game. The cameras are rolling, and I'm like, if I do anything, this is gonna be a scene. Now, we can sit up here in
It's
front
already
all
is,
we
bro.
want to.
They already
and
waiting
act
for the
like
next move.
We don't work for somebody.
Someone gonna
Damn it,
ask
I work
LeBron
for Walt Disney.
What he got to say
And
about
if I
this.
had gotten into some shit with him at courtside right there at that moment, no matter how right I would have been, it would have been wrong. And I was
LeBron
like,
James.
I'm not gonna do this.
It's LeBron
But-
James.
Once I saw the tape of him talking to Richard Jefferson Saturday night in Boston, that was when I got really pissed, because that was confirmation.
Was not expecting that to end right there.
About the Lakers, that's about LeBron, not Bronny. Bronny wanted to get drafted by any NBA team. He wanted to hear his name. It was LeBron that wanted him as his teammate. What I'm
Now-
saying to you is, if LeBron had
I'll
rolled
let him
up
go. I'll
on
let
me,
him go.
all he had to say, because I said this to Rich Paul when Rich Paul called me. If you had called me and said, Bron pissed off, he wants to see you man to man, I said, what would I have done? Rich Paul said, you'd have hung up the phone and you'd have flew to LA. I said, thank you. Rather than come up to me at courtside,
They probably would've
all
talked
you
on the
had to
phone.
do was
I'm
say,
not gonna
yo,
lie, bro.
I need you to see you after the game.
They would have talked
You
about
didn't do that.
telephone.
You said you with my son. No, I wasn't. I was talking about you. It wasn't about your son. I know he's number 55. I know he got work to do.
sound
I
like we
believe
gotta
that he
get
got the
in the
potential.
ring, man.
And by the way, I'm rooting for him.
Maybe stop,
I ain't
maybe
rooting
stop.
against nobody. But I'm
Told
talking
you,
about
he feels hurt, bro.
You-
He feels hurt,
You did
bro.
this.
You can feel it,
Number
bro. You
one,
can
we
tell.
know I'm right. Number two, we
Bro
know the
feels
perspective that I'm
betrayed,
coming
man.
from is real and it's authentic. Number three,
He feels
He set
betrayed.
this up. Number four, all you had to do was tell me. Respectfully, excuse my language. That's
Yeah, bro is hurt. Bro is hurt. All right, 3, 2, 1. You can feel it on his face. I see it on his face. You can feel it in emotion in his words, bro. Bro is hurt about what LeBron kind of did to him, man. Just pulled up on him out of nowhere, and then but at the same time, I mean, you can feel him, man. I mean, you talking about his son, I guess, in a way he didn't like. Of course, he's gonna say something about it, but all I can say is it comes with the media. It's hard. Like, of course, Bronny got all the attention, unfortunately, but that just comes with it, man. You're the son of a GOAT in a sport. You're going to get talked about. So it should be expected. He probably even had that talk with Bronny at night that they're going to come for you. Everything you do, they're going to critique to you about it because you cannot do right in their eyes. Like, they're going to call you this, they're going to call you that. So at the same time, you probably got to have that mental fortitude, not to get that into your mind and let it affect you anyway. I'm pretty sure LeBron had that conversation with Bronny. Ain't no way he didn't, So, but I'm guessing whatever Stephen A. Smith said had to mainly be about that father thing, about him as a father or something like that. Like, that was probably mainly touch LeBron on this situation, what made him in the first place confront him right then and there. He wasn't waiting after the game. He wasn't waiting to call, see you in LA. Nah, he had to tell you right then and there though. But fans was easily gonna like be on LeBron because they do not like Stephen A. Smith. They clown him, and LeBron's their GOAT. So it's gonna be anything about it though. But the Stephen A. Smith point though, I feel like he just does whatever is gonna give attention. Sadly, that's gonna be Bronny at the end of the day. It's not gonna be the top 5 picks in the draft. He gonna do whatever money he takes. So will this affect Stephen A. Smith to stop talking about Bronny? To be honest, it probably will. You probably will barely see any Bronny talks now on is it First Take or something like that, whatever his show's called. But you're probably barely gonna see it now because hey, he don't want no problems with LeBron no more. But I wonder what LeBron will say, or he probably won't have nothing to do on this. Now he probably be on a podcast. I'm pretty sure Gilbert Arenas probably offer LeBron to say something about it. Probably gonna reject it, or probably gonna happen not for a while. But hey, you upset the king, you're gonna upset the NBA and a lot of fans though. But let me know your in the comments what you think about the situation. Like who's in the right, who's in the wrong, or who you think gotta apologize to the other, or hey, who what's gonna happen? Should they get in the boxing ring? So it's like, men, I think they should. All jokes aside though, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, turn notifications, and I'll catch you later on the next. Poor Bronny, man. He deserves a chance, man. Give him some time, he'll be good. But peace.